Hello, my name is Jackie, and welcome to our celebration of 60 years of marriage between Joan and William Mayle, also known as Mum and Dad, Grandma and Grandad, Uncle and Aunt, Great Uncle and Aunt, and Bill and Joan. A very big thank you for joining us. I would like to just take a moment to mention those who would have loved to have been here with us, including Hilda and George Millard, Ivy and Tom Mayle, Marion and Robert Rees, Fred, Jimmy and Richard Mayle, Jean and Doug, Izzy and Don. I have the honour of giving the speech, which will be about 6 minutes long, 1 minute per decade of Mum and Dad's married life. Bill and Joan both grew up in blissful ignorance of each other in South Somerset. Both one of 4 siblings, they enjoyed happy childhoods in Stoke-upon-Hampton and Yeovil. To set the scene, 60 years ago, number 1 in the charts was Magic Moments by Perry Como. Work on the M1, Britain's first motorway, began. Michael Bond first published a story about a bear. Blue Peter was launched. An average house cost just £1,100. Dad was paid £8 a week. A litre of petrol was 5p, as was a loaf of bread. Bill and Joan probably hung out at exactly the same places during their late teenage years. They were, in fact, pictured together before they met in a photo taken at the Crewkerne Hospital ball, when Dad was going out with Jennifer Hodges and Mum was going out with Mike Girling. Luckily for us, their previous relationships didn't work out. So back one evening in September 1957, the bus turned up at South Petherton Hospital to pick up nurses heading off to a dance at Stoke Hall. Dad's mate, Philip Hamlin, really liked Mum's friend Jean, and as girls always travelled in pairs, Philip asked Bill to double date to get Mum out of the way. They were both watching the band when the nurses started arriving through the door. Dad asked Philip, "Which one's mine?" To which Philip answered, "The small one on the left." Dad was very relieved and said, "Well, she looks pretty good to me." Mum was popular, so he didn't get a chance to dance with her until the very end of the night for the last waltz. He asked to see her again, and they met up a couple of evenings later for their first date, which was a trip to Burton Bradstock. They borrowed Uncle Jimmy's motorbike in the days before crash helmets and headed off. All was lovely and romantic on the ride over there, until just past the Yabba Dabba Doo Bridge, Dad noticed a massive Maybug zooming towards him. So, being the gentleman he is, he ducked and it hit Mum squarely in the face. In spite of this, they did set a wedding date for that March because, as Mum said, it was too cold to keep dating up at Ham Hill. Dad proposed to Mum at South Petherton Hospital. We won't go into the proposal, mainly because Mum can't remember it. Dad asked Grandad for his daughter's hand in marriage when they were in the pit covered in oil, repairing Grandad's car. Grandad's reply was the stuff of legends, but I really can't tell you what it was. Being a romantic, Mum didn't want a ring, but she did want a radio for her bedroom. Dad, as ever, delivered by getting her a second-hand Roberts radio. As she said, it fitted on her finger better. On the evening before their wedding, they had a bit of a row, but before they could sort it out, Grandad George, who, as we know, could be a bit gruff, said, "Time to go now, Bill." As this was before the days of WhatsApp, texts and mobile phone calls, they still hadn't made it up before the wedding. The morning of the wedding, Mum was feeling very peed off with Dad, but had to help get Auntie Kath, Lily and Nan ready. Then she got herself ready, still feeling quite reluctant. Grandad said, "It's not too late, you know, Joan." To which she replied, "Yes, it is, Dad. We've made all the sandwiches." Because of these meat paste sandwiches, the wedding went ahead in Yeovil Baptist Church as planned. Here's Mum and Grandad George looking stunning and angelic. Uncle Alan, seen in this picture, remembers standing on the steps of the church next to Uncle Reg. Alan told me, "Uncle Reg was smoking a woodbine and it was time to go in. I remember him saying, 'Can we smoke inside or shall I put this out?'" During the service, Dad accidentally shut Mum's veil into his hymn book, which got passed back along the congregation, and the veil along with it. We did the reception with meat paste, sandwiches and jellies, all on a tight budget of £20. The celebrations were cut short because of the Grand National and everyone wanting to watch it on the television. The Evening Post photographer took the wedding photos on the day. He was a bit ahead of his time, and to get this shot he climbed up a very rickety ladder. Mum and Dad had to keep walking past the window of the Evening Post offices to look at the photographs for a couple of months just to admire themselves before they could afford to buy them. For their honeymoon, Mum and Dad headed down to St Anthony in Roseland in Cornwall. Now you can see where my brother got his name, Roseland Mail. Uncle Richard lent Dad the tenner to pay for it. The place was heaving with honeymooners, as at that time you got a £30 tax rebate if you married before April. They all shared the shower blocks that the Americans used in the war. They called to each other across the showers and had to throw soap to each other over the cubicles. So, fast forward 60 years of marriage, including 2 adorable children, a wonderful son and daughter-in-law, 3 very lovely grandchildren, 7 counting the dogs. 12 house moves, many lovely friends, travelling to different countries, celebrating many different events with friends and family, trying new hobbies like swimming with dolphins, to where they are now, settled happily in a beach hut in Seaton. Now the sincere bit. I asked Dad, what's your secret to a happy marriage? He replied, God's grace, a ring and prayer, our faith and love. Mum said, we would like to say we haven't quarrelled, but that's simply not true. But we just love each other. 25 years ago, Mum bought Dad a card, which he still has next to the bed. I know sometimes we drive each other crazy, but you're the best thing in the world and I love you. How would I sum up my parents? They are an inspiration. Not everything in life runs smoothly, but Mum and Dad have always dealt with everything with humour, love and determination, and an amazing gratitude for life that they have passed down to me. Thank you, Mum and Dad, for being an outstanding example of how to love and care for each other. You have instilled your love in everyone around you and were a catalyst for all of our life's achievements. Happy wedding anniversary.